Welcome to a special episode of the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me is Ben.
Bonus. It's Star Wars. I bitched out on the real discussion. So now I'm here in a corner.
So me and Paul, Exposure on Twitter. We did a Star Wars spoilercast, but Ben went to sleep like a bitch.
Okay.
So he wasn't on it. He totally was invited. He just went to bed.
The worst part is that I only missed it by like 30 minutes. Like the way Paul was talking, I'm like, Homer's gonna get home at like 1:30 my time. I'm gonna be dead.
I mean, yeah, it could have been an extra 30 minutes if I hit the early train.
If I would have stayed up, it would have been. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've given my thoughts on
a
podcast already. The link to that will be in the show notes. This is mostly about Ben getting out his thoughts.
Bless.
And we'll have a little talk.
Yeah. I do want to share my story of why the movie was perhaps just a little bit sweeter for me. It's a Crump story.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like you licked it and the screen was made of sugar. And then it turned blood red.
No, not this time. It's more of a like, I would expect that at like the Smurfs movie. That's something that would happen.
You weren't watching on a screen made of cheese.
Not this time. That's reserved for the best of the best.
Ratatouille.
Jingle All the Way, B-movie. Your bangers. But so I had planned with Crump, I'll make this fairly quick, planned to do Force Awakens recap on Wednesday, and then do up the first showing at 7 p.m. on Thursday. He canceled on Wednesday to go to some beer event, which was great. And because of this, using only the facts I know, he was, I believe, hungover, so called into work. This is relevant because he works in the town where we were going to see the film, because I drive through there when I go back to my parents' house on Thursday nights. So he wanted to stay in Stevens Point, where I currently am, and watch the movie. I'm like, no, that's just not happening. We agreed to disagree. I went to the film. I very much enjoyed it. I'm like, yeah, you can go and Point. That's fine. Like, it does not make sense for you to drive an hour away. I understand that. It sucks that you fucked this up for us. Go have fun. He wanted to get there at like 6:20, 6:30 for a 7 p.m. showing of Star Wars on the first night. I showed up at 5:30, got my seat, perfect seat for me, and did it up. He got there at like 6:20, and it's a college town, so the thing sold out at like 4, and he didn't see it, and just made me a little happy that he messed things up and then couldn't see it. Also, it was snowing pretty good afterwards, so I ended up being safe, which is important.
All I hear is, wait, you guys don't get assigned seats when you buy movie theater tickets? Fucking peasants.
Oh shit! Is that a thing? No,
that's like most theaters around here are now assigned seating at this point. There are some old ones that aren't.
That has to be just a thing because giant fucking city as opposed to town of like 20,000.
Like it's all the chain store, like AMC and Regal are all. Well, Regal is less. It's AMC. AMC is all like cush seats and like reclining chairs. And
yeah, ours definitely. It's not like a super nice movie theater. It has like the one mega screen with what the like hits show on. So this was in there. But yeah, actually there was some people behind me. Like once shit started filling up, and then groups of 10 were arriving at like 5 minutes to showtime. And they were like asking people to scoot aside, and like someone got in an argument with the usher, and I heard them say like verbatim, it doesn't guarantee a specific seat, it just guarantees a seat. Move over.
Yep.
So yeah, that's interesting because I didn't really I assumed it was an unorganized mess everywhere.
No, it's very nice. I mean, I did show up early, but which was honestly more annoying because then I had a Satan on the aisle, so I had to keep getting up to let people
Oh
in as they were
yeah,
coming in and out.
that'd be shit. Yeah, I sat right in the fucking smack middle.
I need the guaranteed leg room.
That's fair.
My legs are long and
But yeah, getting to the actual film now.
what?
I know it's crazy. I don't know that I'll be able to hold it for the whole time. Probably derail into Harry Potter again.
So that milking scene.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I like that. I thought that was pretty great.
That's really good. I just
Like,
love how
fuck it.
gross it is.
Yeah, exactly.
The best way I've heard it described is like those weren't really udders. Those were just boobs. Those are just 4 boobs with nipples.
Yep. I've seen. I mean, one of the first things I did, as I said before we started this, I haven't listened to your podcast because I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
If you guys could do like transcriptions of it, I'd probably read through it, but I don't know. I'm not one for listening to podcasts too often for some reason. I'll probably listen to it in like 16 months when it's not relevant. But
Right.
just looking on Reddit and other reviews and stuff, real polarized.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I have seen very few people who are threading the middle. From the little bit I talked to Paul, it seemed like he was kind of more at that point. Like, it wasn't garbage, but it wasn't grade A Star Wars.
He was flip-flopping between whether he thought it was good or whether he thought it was bad, and then at the end, we just said numbers. He settled on a 6 out of 10, like for a brief reference.
All right. Yeah.
I settled at an 8 out of 10, personally.
Okay. Yeah, see, I liked way more than I disliked things in it, like anything in it. Mm-hmm. I think the thing that I don't know. I have a hard time picking what I dislike the most, which sounds worse than it is, because I didn't hate anything necessarily. I think what I specifically hated the most was the fucking Leia Force Superman scene. That was pretty bad, just in execution. And they could have just accumulation of things. Like, Carrie Fisher is dead. We probably could have just ended it there. We could have had her use the Force in a more subtle way that didn't involve that scene at all. Like, someone made the point of, like, she could have used the Force to open the door or done something little, to accomplish it. No, just like
fly through space in a moment of death.
It is worth pointing out that in space you would not need to Force pull very hard to do that. The problem is that it just looks bad. Terrible.
I don't know. It reminded me of like Wizard of Oz flying. Like,
oh yeah. No,
like it's just like a pure fantasy moment. But I think that's like part of the DNA of Star Wars inherently, which is why I was okay with it. There's just like that kind of lame fantasy that's just like you kind of need it. Like, it's kind of charming over time. After you've seen it over and over again. When you're seeing it for the first time, you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, the big part of it is like that scene, when that scene started, I was like getting a little bit emotional. I'm like, Carrie Fisher's dead. Like, this is how it ends. And it was a really good scene. And then I'm like, after a couple seconds, I'm like, it's going too long. She's coming back. No, don't do this. Like, it was like a deer in the headlights. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't do anything.
That they couldn't. That would have been a disservice to her character to kill her like that.
Fair enough, I guess.
And they had because they had shot all that stuff already. I'm fine with their choice to just play out this movie, the way they had originally intended, and just deal with it later.
Mm-hmm. So, like, that thing happened. I think overall, a more objectively meh thing is the like casino bit.
Yep.
Even though I also, in a vacuum, I actually really enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was kind of great. But in the context of the movie, it was like, eh.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit. It's just there because we need Finn to do something.
Yeah.
So, and Rose is a good character. I like her.
I think
She's cool.
I don't know. This
But-
is the
but
sentiment
it's
is
just
What
it's
now?
just the structure of the. It's so heightened the tension, and then it's like, well, we have this for we need like our side space adventure fantasy fun moment, and it's just. But it doesn't even amount to. It's just weird. It's just weird.
I think my preference would have been just have them like discuss the plan and then go off and do it. Cut that whole bit out of the movie. Literally just like fucking cut it out and then paste it somewhere else. Have them come back and be like, yeah, like this shit happened, whatever, and then just suddenly poof, they're there. And then on the Blu-ray, you release it as a bonus thing, like just a short movie of like that, and it would be fine. I'd be into that, but I don't hate it as much as some people do. I actually really,
I like-
oh, what?
I really like some of the ideas that are there. Like that, these are like these rich war or arms dealers who kind of sell weapons to both sides. Those small details in there, I think, are
Yeah.
really good. That thing just goes on too long. Like they didn't need to be arrested.
No, that was a bit. I really enjoyed the character though. The thief dude. Like
He's great.
He did a good
I mean,
job.
when you cast a great actor,
I could not place him. I recognized the fuck out of him, but I couldn't. What are the?
Benicio del Toro?
Yeah, I vaguely recognize the name, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he's definitely in things that I enjoy, probably, but
He's been in stuff I haven't liked, but like he's good. He's a really good actor.
yeah, that was fine. I'm kind
Keep going.
I'm fine that it turned out the way that it did, like how we kind of threw them under the bus, but I just wanted more of him somehow. Like, I don't care if he's going to be the antagonist, but just, keep him around.
That's fair. That's fair. I just inherently like that kind of character too. So I was into that.
I think.
But I just thought the main plot was the other main plots of what Rey's doing and the stuff on the ship was just so pressing and more interesting that you don't need that diversion is.
No, everything
kind of a
else was
bummer.
more interesting.
But I
was
mean,
hoping for way more.
yeah, like the more I think about it, I think the less that scene bothers me, just because I like the rest of the movie so much. I don't know.
Yep. And that's how it, honestly, that's kind of how I feel about the movie in general. Like, the more I keep thinking about it, the more I'm like, that was a really good film. Like, immediately after seeing, I was kind of mixed. Drive home, I'm like, it wasn't as bad. By the time I went to bed, I'm like, that was a solid film. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's kind of my opposite experience with Revenge of the Sith, which I was okay with while watching, and then every time I thought about it afterwards, I liked it less and less.
I mean, yeah.
Just like this is the other end of the spectrum. I just kind of like it more and more.
I think, I mean, and this is, I guess my wants for the movie kind of fell in line with a lot of other people's. Like, I wanted to know who Snoke was. I wanted to know about Rey's parents. I wanted to know I wanted the whole no dark, no light, just sort of a gray, middle balance area, all that stuff. And I think it's a combination of two things. The first being just sort of one of the general things I took away from the film was questioning. Like, everything was questioning what it was doing. Like, I was picking up I still got real heavy, balance of dark and light vibes. I think if people didn't, there is something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like, that was a real strong thing. And even, like, with the rebels and stuff, there's a time to turn away. Like, you can't just keep fucking running headlong into things. And I think that all kind of had that point. Like, especially with Luke's little speech about how he was a legend and stuff.
Yeah.
And that you apply that to Snoke. It's like, why does he need to be built up? Why can't he just be some random schmuck who came along and was bad? and now he doesn't matter because he ate shit. Like, aside from the fact that he couldn't hear the lightsaber turning on the thing. Anyway.
Well, I mean, he's blinded by his, his overconfidence.
Voldemort syndrome. Anyway, I think
Palpatine syndrome specifically. But.
Fair enough. I guess the second thing is that I feel like Disney is just setting up to release more shit, and it will explain that, but it won't be in one movie. You got to have those side movies and those TV series and the comics and the books.
Well, Rian Johnson's doing a whole trilogy himself after episode 9. They've already hired him to do that.
Sounds about right.
Then J.J. Abrams is doing episode 9. After they kicked off the Book of Henry director.
Is it a main series trilogy, or is it like the Leia Organa story?
I'm not 100% on what it is. But I think it might just be like 3 new episodes. I just know it's like I think that's the plan.
I don't have a problem with that. I just kind of wish they'd wait more, because then it doesn't feel like a trilogy. It's more like a hextuplet or whatever.
Well, the reality is it's going to be a Star Wars movie every year for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
probably.
That sounds right.
That's like the baseline. Like maybe we'll get 2 Star Wars movies in a year sometimes. Like we've gotten 2 Pixar movies in a year sometimes, but
yeah.
And sometimes maybe they'll skip a year, but I think that's the way they're planning.
I don't know. I'm definitely a hypocrite because, in the Lord of the Rings podcast, I talked about how I'm sick of sequels, prequels, remakes, and reboots. If they release Star Wars, I'm gonna eat it up. Even if I bitch, I'm gonna that movie was fucking terrible. I watched it 5 times. It wasn't worth it. Like, that's how I am with Star Wars. I am that person. And I was actually thinking about that in relation to this film, watching people you're not a real if you're a true Star Wars fan, you'd love the film. If you were a true Star Wars fan, you'd think it was trash. Like, there's both sides of it. And I don't know. I guess to me, I enjoy the fact that we have the original trilogy and people generally think they're awesome. And then you have the prequels that people are like, yeah, they're like trash, but they're not trash. But I laughed, but I didn't. And I hate them, but I don't. And, you have that one thing that everyone wants to forget about in the form of the holiday special. And I don't know. You have you have the awesome, Force Awakens, I think most people thought was great as a reboot or whatever. Or a sequel.
People are kind of meh on that movie in a lot of ways, but it's fine.
I guess my scope on that one was a lot more narrow. I just happened to interact with people who I thought were more excited about it, or I found to be more excited about it.
I feel like the initial excitement was there.
Over time.
For
sure.
People don't. But the buzz on it just being a New Hope again kind of dimmed its importance over time. Its importance ends up being set up for stuff for this.
And see, that's kind of how I feel about this one as well. It feels very much like more in-depth setting up, to be sure. I really, mentioning the questioning stuff earlier, I really enjoyed that. I still really think that it's going to end with a sort of light and dark balance. One of those deals. And that was even, I'm going to go way out here and hope that I'm not misremembering. I think that was an extended universe thing in the Legacy lore or whatever, with Luke kind of saying how you need, the Jedi traditionally were like, oh, no love, no hate, no whatever.
Yeah.
And then Luke was kind of like, no, emotions are good. Maybe not necessarily that, but something akin to that. You can't just ignore your anger. You can't just ignore all these things, not all of the time or whatever, because it might lead to this again.
Yeah, I mean, the Jedi suck. That's I feel like that's been borne out in all these movies. The one thing you could take away from the prequels, which I don't even know if the prequels get it, but it's very clear the Jedi suck.
Yeah. No, they're... Well, Yeah, they suck, and then even that's one of the things with like the council is like or some of them like we're in too deep. We're just tools. We are the lightsaber.
Yeah.
They're just using us for our laser swords. I mean, it's basically true. I did enjoy, you know, in the midst of all the bickering on Reddit, some people were like, I just don't understand why you guys were so set on Space Jesus in the form of Luke. I've never really, like, thought of him as that, but it makes perfect sense. So that was pretty great. I also did not...
Luke didn't die for our sins, though. Darth Vader died for our sins, I guess. He's evil Space Jesus.
But he turned good in the
He was
end.
the chosen one. Darth Vader was the chosen one.
Oh, what, because his midi-chlorian count was higher?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know. I don't know what anyone's midi-chlorian count after that is.
Well,
and I don't
Yoda's was
care.
apparently shit.
Apparently it was garbage, but
Fucking... What a time.
man, I love the scene where Yoda shows up in this movie.
It was really good.
It's so good.
Like, I was pretty damn happy with it. And I was happy that he was, like, I don't know, more silly, closer to original trilogy Yoda, as opposed to super
looked like
serious.
He looked like a dumb puppet. He didn't look like CGI Yoda.
Yeah. And then, you know, like, just fucking burned the tree down.
And laughed while laughing.
Yeah.
It's very important.
It was great. That was a wonderful scene.
It's great because, like, Luke's already given the "I thought I was a legend" speech.
Yeah.
And then Yoda's just like, yeah, but you're still full of yourself. Come on, bro.
Oh, look at you bragging how humble you are. Fuck off.
Oh, you want to burn down the tree, but then you think twice.
You little bitch. That was.
But did you notice the there's a detail that's missable. Did you notice that the books are on the Millennium Falcon?
Yep, Ray had taken them.
Yeah.
I had glanced that and I was like,
Yeah.
those were the books, right? Like,
Yeah.
I noticed that they wouldn't show different books randomly.
It's so good because it's like Yoda's like she has everything she needs. It's
Yep.
like literally she already has the books. It's so good.
I mean, she's gonna be bored with them because they're shit, but she has them.
She has the knowledge, like the ancient knowledge is there.
Mm-hmm.
She's not totally on her own.
Also, I mean, jumping around a bit, I thought the line on the mineral planet or whatever, where the dude like tastes it, he's like salt. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not snow. It's not snow, everybody. It's not Hoth.
It's not Hoth. Wow.
I heard some girl in the back of my theater ask if it was though. It's like, wait, is that Hoth? They said mineral planet. Jesus, Marie. Fuck.
Doesn't look like Hoth at all either. That's really funny.
Someone
These
was
foxes
basic.
weren't on Hoth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
fucking wampas.
Did you see a goddamn tauntaun? Because I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
That's how they could have escaped if they'd been on Hoth. They all climb inside dead tauntauns and just hide and wait.
And then we strike.
Just come out all fucking covered in tauntaun guts and stab a bunch of stormtroopers.
How did you feel about the humor overall?
I liked it. I'm fine with that stuff.
Okay.
It does. The weird part of it, it feels very modern as opposed to
Yes.
old school.
It
But
is
like, I mean, they're making a movie in 2017. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'd prefer, and see, I'm one of those people, I'm like, I say I don't like it, but then in the moment, I'm like, this is pretty good. But
Snoke hits her in the head with the lightsaber. I mean, come on.
yeah,
That's great.
like I saw the most complaints I saw were about about Luke tossing the lightsaber, and then
I like that.
I
just like that a lot.
I enjoyed that. Because Luke just at that point he was like, "Fuck this whole thing! Get this shit out of
Yeah.
my face! How dare you bring
I
that into
love-
my abode?"
I love crusty Luke.
What was the other? Oh,
So perfect.
The phone call, like can you hear me? Hello? I'm asking for General Hux with an H. Skinny guy. Like, I don't know. I thought that was pretty good. Like, based on what we know of Poe, it was pretty in character.
Yeah, I mean, it was just good to see Poe doing stuff. Like, he didn't get whole lot to do in the last movie, so it was cool to see him, like, even though that X-wing is turning in a way that's like, that's not how they worked in the old movies, but that's fine. Also, there's also like just power creep stuff of people being like, everything's kind of better, but
Yeah.
it's a modern movie.
And I prefer that as opposed to trying to stick so close to the originals that it turns some people off. Doctor Who. Your shitty graphics and your terrible story writing. But
Terrible story writing, yeah.
My only beef with like the technology thing, again, it's one of those things that like in the movie, watching the film, I actually don't care. But if I think too hard about it, I'm like, why isn't everybody suicide charging ships? Both sides. What happens if you suicide charge a Star Destroyer at something? That probably ends well.
Well, those don't move very fast.
At light speed, though.
Yeah, but then everyone dies. Like, the reason she did that is she was the only person on that ship left.
All I'm hoping for is
very expensive.
As a result, that is true. All I'm hoping for is as a result of that scene is that someone photoshops Sokka onto her saying airship slice, and then like that's actually peak Photoshop right there.
God, that scene is so good.
It really is. Like the afterwards is just, it was great. And I think I mentioned that to you the other night, how people in my theater were being a little appropriately noisy, I guess. Like, they were like, holy, like just reacting like you would if you were going to make noise. But
like someone had just gotten a sick burn in a rap competition.
Yeah. Ooh. No,
yeah, exactly.
I'm excited to see it like on my own in the comfort of my home, where I can listen with headphones or something and just hear the silence. But yeah, I think that scene was fine. I still have mixed feelings about the whole hiding the plot or hiding the plan thing.
She was real bad at telling Poe what the deal was, but
some people pointed out that in a military setting it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in Star Wars to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like historically it would make more sense for them to be open about the plan. But yes, as a lower ranking officer, he has no fucking right to question what's going on. But
I mean, the part where it makes sense is the part of his plan is where there was a traitor. So if he had known about that earlier, the Empire would have known about it earlier, instead of right when Benicio del Toro's like hacker character betrays them and to get money after they get caught. Like that actually happens in that way in the movie.
The way to what now?
The plan of the ships escaping, the Empire only learns about that because of the hacker guy betraying Finn and Rose for money after they all three get caught.
Yes.
So, and he only knows about that theoretically through Poe talking to Finn. Yeah. So theoretically, that is the leak. Poe is the leak at the end of the day too. So there's right to be.
Yes.
For that stuff to be closed off.
Okay. Yeah, it's fair.
Just in practicality. I'm just saying how it worked out.
Yeah. All right. Okay. It's taking me a lot longer to like piece together what you're saying, but I got there. I'm proud of me. Yeah.
I just think there are a lot of small details in this movie, and how in terms of how the plot lines up with stuff, it's well thought out.
Yeah.
Which I think is a function of Rian Johnson writing and directing it. Like, he had it on lock of what he wanted to do and didn't get meddled with.
I really, really enjoyed the interactions with Rey and Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Like their little Force connection things were really, really good.
Yeah, it was a good arc of like
Yes.
her just yelling at him, then being more sympathetic just because that's who she is,
Oh,
and then
I'm
and the
remembering.
turn.
I'm remembering the main thing where people were like joking about Space Jesus, and it's because Luke admits that he had a moment of weakness, and like I could strike him down here and end it. Like I have dealt with Vader. I don't want a second one. And everyone, Luke would never do that. Okay, okay. In what lore? The old lore? Yeah. In the old lore, he was actually just like Jedi God, except for the bit where he turned to the dark side and Leia had to come. Anyway,
Yeah, Luke was. I mean, Luke was. He's only like a paragon of virtue in like originally
certain
presented. As the series goes on, and you get to Jedi. He's like clearly has like mixed feelings, particularly about. He's not like he doesn't want to kill everyone, but
Well,
he's not like pure.
The easy counter argument is that when he fights Vader and he has like the upper hand, he's gearing up to kill him. Like the thought is definitely fucking there.
I mean, he takes down Vader by furiously hammering on his lightsaber over and over again, just with pure rage.
Yeah. So,
and like that's like why his the lightsaber's green at that point. Like it's not a pure blue or whatever.
Actually, it's because green is a better color. He's more experienced. He's more powerful. You'll notice that they confirm this in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when Qui-Gon has a green lightsaber and Obi-Wan, a mere Padawan, has a blue lightsaber.
Oh.
And Samuel Jackson's lightsaber was purple because he engaged in more aspects of the dark side of the Force as well. Certainly not just because he asked for a purple one.
No, it's definitely because he asked for a purple one. He wanted to be special.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, come on, I want to be a special Jedi. I gotta have purple lightsaber. All right, Sam.
Fine. Yeah, I don't know. The lightsaber stuff continued to be good. The fight scene things continued to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess comparing them to the prequels where it's like, I'm going to swing at air. They're going to be flourish.
God, the prequel fighting, I just don't like it. It's just the style to it.
Yeah. I mean, someone
this stuff
made like a little gif of them swinging back and forth that they're like visibly just hitting, like swinging at air.
Yep.
Like, it's great. But yeah, I don't know. I was listening to the soundtrack. I listened through to Last Jedi and Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm. Not Rogue One, because
it's not John Williams.
Yeah, the soundtrack's not good.
Yeah, there's nothing. Whatever.
It's the weak part about that movie. That and the characters are none of that. I don't care about any of them. But
like
that's fine.
outside of the movie, it like the soundtrack it's still good.
Yeah, it's not.
There's a lot.
I wanted the Star Wars music. I wanted the Star Wars music in it.
Oh, I was talking about about Last Jedi.
Oh, you're talking about
like
Last
it's
Jedi,
still great, but
Gotcha.
It works. There's just a lot of audio stuff going on in that movie, and there's I don't know. There was I think it fits a lot better with the film than without. The Force Awakens,
Gotcha.
on the other hand, that might actually just be my favorite Star Wars soundtrack. The scavenger theme and Rey's theme, I don't know.
Interesting.
I just love it. And there's like the bits with like Leia's theme and Luke's theme. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's not the kind of music I listen to in my own time. So, but that's interesting that you feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, the scavenger theme is by far my favorite song, and I like the casino song came up, and I actually really enjoy that. Like it was really good. It's like a fancy cantina. This is great.
Yes.
Yeah, the little drunk dude, like swimming it, like going full Scrooge McDuck.
It's just he put a lot of coins into BB-08.
He was
firing them out like a
loading
machine
them
gun.
up. Yeah, dude.
Just waiting for that prize. One day I'll get the prize.
The fucking jingling on BB-8 when he's rolling around and you can hear all the coins. Fucking, that was great. That was a great moment.
Oh, BB-08, he's so fucking powerful. He's just so
Oh
good.
yeah, he's like their little sonic screwdriver
Like,
that
I
they
thought-
don't use too
again,
much.
Paul said this, like, you thought R2 was overpowered, but all R2 could, like, open every door. BB-8 just, like, takes an ATSD. It's like,
I mean,
fuck.
he's basically a 2/2 with flying for 2, to put it in magic terms. That power creep.
You're right. That's fair.
Yeah.
What's the whatever counterspell for 1 colorless and 2 blue of this movie though?
The red droid that blows up in episode 4. I'm sorry, the force sensitive droid that knew he had to like off himself to save R2 or to get the whole thing going. I don't know, whatever. What a great children's book. But yeah, I don't know. I thought everything meshed really, really well. I will probably see it. No, I am definitely seeing it once more in theaters at least. I have plans to the day after Christmas.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna see it again in theaters, and this will be the first one of the new ones that I've watched again in theaters. But that's partially because I have Movie Pass now.
Nice.
So it's not gonna actually cost me anything to see it again.
I've
It's
thought
just
about
time.
getting Movie Pass or like,
I mean, it's
trying it.
it's a weird thing because it's like they give you a fake credit card that you have to tell them to turn on to buy a movie ticket. Basically, I don't. It feels very and if I see a movie a month, they've lost like a lot of money based on how much I'm paying versus how much a movie ticket costs. I don't understand it.
Maybe it's one of those things where there's enough. It's like a gym membership. There's enough people who buy it and don't use it that they come out ahead.
Yeah,
Sort of thing. That'd be my guess. But
I assume they're selling data, so they have some plan to make money other ways on you.
So just like everyone else. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw Force Awakens 3 times in theaters, just with with different people. That will probably happen with Last Jedi.
One of my problems is I just remember movies too well these days when I see them. So I'm just like thinking about it, like, no, I remember everything that happens. So,
I remember everything that happens. That's why I'm going back.
Oh
shit.
Again, yeah, like not having to pay is the big thing.
Yeah, that would definitely do it.
I might go see Thor Ragnarok again though first, just because
I
that's almost gone from theaters.
saw whatever ad it was for what was it, The Showman? The best show, the greatest showman.
Hugh Jackman, Barnum Bailey.
That looks pretty
Circus
damn good.
movie.
I'm into it. The trailer won me over.
It's that new Peter Jackson movie where there's like a giant city chasing another giant town, and it's like There Will Always Be in England is playing slowly in the background. And it's like, oh no, London is after us.
Did not see commercials for that. It is probably too highbrow for Central Wisconsin. Is my
it's
guess.
the new Peter Jackson special effects thing. You should be all over it. You like Lord of the Rings.
Okay, but there's totally different reasons. Totally different things there. You like effects. You like those Ring movies. Oh, okay. You're not wrong, but also, yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, I had a question actually. Your thoughts on the specifically about Rey's parents thing, where she's no one basically. And the line, "This isn't your story."
I think 2 things, I guess, simultaneously. One, it might actually just be bullshit. We don't know, and there's nothing,
No, that's pretty definitive. The thing when she goes to look in the mirror and she just sees herself when she's looking for her parents thing, that's like the added thing. On top of that is,
I guess I hadn't thought about that. Like, I mean, obviously I thought about the connection, but I hadn't really thought about that as negating that idea. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. That's like reinforcing that.
I think it fits in. I think it as the idea of her just like, yeah, your parents were fucking druggies that just sold you out for more drug money.
Yeah.
That definitely fits with all the other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, Snoke's dead. Where's a backstory? You don't get one. Like,
Yeah.
the Jedi need to die. Like, dark and light is whatever. And, like, with all the questioning thing, and the, like, people don't want legends and all of that.
Yeah.
I think it fit in very well with that. And I know a lot of people were disappointed because they're like, we want to know who Rey's parents are. We want to know where Snoke came from. We want to know all this. Well, too bad. You get it in the extended universe. Talk to Timothy Zahn.
Go find out about Luke. That's Luke with 2 U's.
Oh boy. He accidentally went. That's the name of his like Force Mirage, who takes on a life of his own and roams the galaxy. Oh dear.
I mean, it's an evil clone of Luke Skywalker, is what it is.
Is that actually? Wait, is this an actual thing?
Luke Skywalker is an extended universe thing.
Oh
yes.
fuck! I thought you were kidding. Oh,
Nope.
No. Oh no! It's still not as bad as Force Sensitive Droid though. It's actually the worst. But I think
Luke.
I think for an overall rating, I would agree with you. 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think is probably. Like outside of the movie, 8 out of 10. When I'm watching it, probably like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Where do you rank it against other Star Wars movies?
Okay, well, obviously above Rogue One. Not hard to do. It's on the bottom.
Harsh. Harsh.
I don't know, like a placement or just like in general. I think I
Placement.
still
Just fucking rank all the movies right here, Ben.
Okay,
Fucking do it.
fine.
Come on.
Okay. All right, we got Rogue One on the bottom. We got Empire Strikes Back on the top. Like any other sane person. So Empire, probably New Hope. This is gonna be controversial, but I would actually say Episode 1.
Gross.
Duel of the Fates is really
Gross.
fucking good. That
Jar Jar Binks, though.
Yeah, and honestly, like,
It's a lot of the movie.
I can be objective, but I'm not going to because this is my ranking and fuck everyone else. Like, that was my first Star Wars. That was my introduction, and that's special to me because I fucking love Star Wars.
I'm
So
sorry,
epi-
Ben. I'm
so
sorry your
episode
life
1
was ruined.
I mean, we later accidentally... We rented Episode 4 from the VHS rental place when that was a thing. And they shut down. And when we were returning our movie, Mom accidentally swapped the tapes. Legitimate accident, but it was pretty great. So we got New Hope instead of Phantom Menace. Yeah, so Empire, New Hope, Episode 1, Return of the Jedi. Oh, no, wait. Fuck, I forgot Force Awakens. Okay, Empire, New Hope, Force Awakens, Episode 1, Last Jedi,
Wow.
Episode 3, Episode 2, Rogue One.
Where was Return of the Jedi?
Ugh. Can't you just listen to the recording?
I think you just said Jedi.
Oh, I said Return
I
of
didn't
the
know
Jedi. I thought, okay, well, I'll do it again.
I didn't know
Empire
which one
Strikes
you meant.
Back. From
Last
the top.
Jedi, Return Jedi. Okay.
From the top, Empire
Alright.
Strikes Back. I'm
Yes.
probably going to list them in a different order.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be a
Empire Strikes
present
Back.
to you, listener.
New Hope. Force Awakens. Phantom Menace. Last Jedi. I did it again, didn't I? Empire Strikes Back. New Hope. Force Awakens. Phantom Menace. Return of the Jedi. There it is. Last Jedi.
Okay.
And then Revenge of the Sith. Attack of the Clones. Rogue One. I think Rogue One is an objectively better film than the prequels, but it is also less Star Wars, and I like the magic of Star Wars. If I wanted a gritty action movie, I could throw a rock and find one wherever that rock landed. There'd be a copy of Punisher or something. I don't know. I'd watch
Okay,
it.
you're wrong about your ranking of the prequels also, but that's fine.
In what way? Like with everything else, or just which ones
Attack
are
of the
better?
Clones is the best one of the three. It's my stance.
In what way?
It's just,
In some ways, I won't disagree.
yeah.
Honestly, that might change. It has been a very long time since I've seen the prequels. Like a very long time.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't even know that would hold up, how much that would hold up, because I feel like there are parts of episode 1 that are the best of those three, but I just hate Jar Jar too much.
That's fair.
And Revenge of the Sith has held up so poorly for me over time. Just so bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
Despite the fact that I love the Emperor in it. Like, I really... he's fucking hilarious and great.
Episode 1, I see a lot of that for me is, like, I really like Qui-Gon. And part of that is, like, I enjoy his extended universe stuff as well. I don't know. That makes it nice for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, Liam Neeson is the best, so...
Yeah, like, that also helped. I do like... I don't know. I love watching Obi-Wan grow up. And, like, just get better and better. And then finally become... Well, in the film sequence...
That's one of the reasons I like episode 2 more, is just Obi-Wan's much better than he was in the first one.
I was going to say, the film sequence, though, like, you know, he starts out full of hope, still keeps going, like, is a good person, and then by episode 4, he becomes a completely different man who hates the movies. The greatest arc of our time.
Look, clearly Obi-Wan had the best death in film.
It's still pretty good. I'm glad they didn't do a repeat for Luke in Last Jedi. I was kind of scared.
Yeah, I think they handled that well.
Yep.
I like that part.
So yeah, 8 out of 10. What'd I say? Like, it's like 5 to 6. It's like 6 out of 9 movies now, including Rogue One. So I don't know. It was really good.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Greatly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I
have some more thoughts, but I'm gonna do a text write up at some point, and I have some specific stuff I want to get into.
That's fair.
Details on. But I really liked it, and I'm liking the movie more and more I think about it. So
yes,
I've really my question now is where it's gonna go on my end of the year list, just ranking against movies that have come out this year. And that one's going to be harder for me.
Was Book of Henry a 2017?
Yep.
Ooh.
It's my third worst movie right now.
Oh, I was going to say top spot, but, agree to disagree. The best of the best.
In terms of pure enjoyment, it's kind of high, but it's so gross.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I can't get the taste of that high school girl clapping giving a clap at the end of the movie. That's bad taste in my mouth.
I'm forgetting that bit.
When I went to the movie, there was a group of girls there.
Oh, in person. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
when I was there, when I was actually in a theater watching that movie, there was a girl who watched it who started clapping when it ended. It was just...
Fuck yeah. People clapped at the end of Star Wars. Was that a thing?
It's true.
Did people do that? Okay, cool. I mean, I was on board.
I didn't like clapping in the theater because no one can hear you. But at the end of the movie, I'm okay with it. When people start. There's times when people clap after messages before the movie or something. I'm like, what are you doing?
That's I guess a thing I haven't touched on yet. Theater experience was definitely not as great as Force Awakens. Force Awakens, I was fucking and as we mentioned, like the initial excitement was way higher with Force Awakens.
Yeah. I mean, for Force Awakens, I went to like a midnight IMAX screening, and this I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to a normal theater and watch
I
it.
went to, did up the same. It was the same showtime, but that's like the first available one. So like everybody who went there was a true like fan who was fucking ready for this. And everyone was freaking, like, Han comes up on screen and everyone just goes fucking nuts. It was great. I got super into it. And this one, people were still, like, clapping and cheering at certain points, but, like, I wasn't, like, feeling it in my soul, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, 8 out of 10. It's,
yeah, it was good.
It's a good film.
I think that's a podcast.
That is.
Oh, this is close to an hour anyway.
We're still short.
Like a little bit. You can find us at saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com, soundcloud.com/saltcircle, on Twitter at saltcirclepod. You can find me on Twitter at comicpanels.
And I'm on Twitter at bean_LP.
And you can find my and Paul's spoilercast for the same movie at burningbarrel.co. And I'll also write something about this movie at some point there.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.